besides the top, like most popular five, I would say, which is like Chet Holmgren, Banchero, Jalen Duren, Jabari Smith, and somebody else. Like, is there anybody that's sort of you think is going under the radar that you really like in college right now? That you have kept an eye on, or that you really like, that you think is going to be sort of lower in the draft, like maybe like out of the lottery, like 15, 16, or even lower than that, might be like a pick 20 and ends up being great? Because like wasn't Keldon Johnson for the Spurs like a number 19 or 20 pick?
Yeah, he was pick 29 actually.
Oh wow.
Um, yeah, there's a couple guys. One of them has recently started to garner some attention. It's Terry Eason
Mm,
from. Granted, he's a transfer. He played at Cincinnati, but he's like a 6'8" combo forward who can just do a bit of everything. He's not like a great 3-point shooter per se. I mean, he's like 36% on the season, but only takes like two a game. But I mean, he's just a really good all around player who, I think he's been in the league 2 years. I think he might play his way into the late lottery with how he's been playing of late because he's shown the ability to play make. He's a pickpocket and he gets a block a game. I mean, that's incredible in terms of what he's been able to do there. Um, I'll shout out. I tweeted about him the other day. I'm sticking with my North Carolina bias, but I mean the numbers don't lie. Brady Manick, that guy's been a revolution. He's going to be a 1-year player for Carolina since he's a grad transfer.
I've seen his name float around, but I haven't looked into him or watched any of his games.
Yeah, I mean, watch him tonight, man. He's an older player, so that's the thing. But I mean, he's a 6'9", 6'10" stretch four. I mean, he shoots 39-40% from three this year. He's averaging 27 points per game in the tournament, and I mean, he ripped apart Marquette. He ripped apart Baylor till he got ejected. I mean, he's been incredible this year, and though he's not a sexy name, he's probably a second rounder at best. I got to think with how the league's trending that a 6'10" guy who can come in off the bench and hit 40% of his threes
I mean,
at that kind of clip.
I mean, if we want to talk about non-sexy names, I mean, not to have a 12-year-old mind, but see, Clan just did a video about a guy whose last name is Cockburn. So I mean,
Kofi is another. There's two guys that stand out there. Kofi's great over at Illinois. Oscar Sheboy at Kentucky is one to watch. I don't know how his game will transfer to the NBA since it's a very old-fashioned style play. But that guy, I mean, he had multiple 2020 games this year. He's got a pretty basic set of post moves, but I mean, he's got a high motor. And for a guy who West Virginia didn't want because they said he didn't try, I think he proved them wrong. Travion Williams at Purdue, he's a power forward there. He probably might be able to play like a bigger small forward in the league, but I mean, he's a senior. He's 12 points, 8 rebounds a game. Last year was averaging 16 and 10. I mean, shoots a 38% clip from three, but he didn't take many threes, so that helps. But I mean, he's very good in the pick and roll. That's a good player. I mean, there's a lot of these guys that are going to start to stand out.
I'm sure Cockburn has literally heard like all the jokes about that name.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, he can turn around to his bullies that he had in middle school and high school and be like, in a year, and possibly be like, who the fuck is playing in the NBA now? Not y'all. So.
Well, I'll tell you, it's not necessarily an underrated name because I think he's definitely a lottery pick. But people, give some respect to Benedict Mathurin, please. He is by far my favorite prospect in this draft. And no, he does not have the same kind of ceiling that AJ Griffin or Banchero have. But you can't tell me that any NBA team wouldn't want a guy that scores 18 points a game, gets 6 rebounds, 3 assists, a steal, and half a block, only turns the ball over once a game, shoots 53% from 2, and shoots 38% from 3. I mean, that guy, he can do everything on the court at a high level. And to me, that's what you want in a player. Who says no to that? I mean, I don't know if you saw that dunk where he just obliterated the guy the other night. Granted, he lost, but to Houston the game after. But he has been on fire some games in this tournament, and that Arizona team, all five of their starting five will be NBA players, whether this season or next season, and he's the best one out of the bunch. I think he deserves like top 8 consideration for a pick, if not top 6.